Coming up on CityView, saving energy. We'll share some easy ways to save on your electric bill. Juneteenth celebration, the city breaks ground on a new African American cultural and heritage center. And skateboarding heaven, we'll take you to Austin's new BMX and skate park. Thanks for joining us. I'm your host, Leslie Sopko. Those stories and more, but first our top story. The city has unveiled its first regional water quality pond in southwest Austin. The pond is designed to remove pollutants like fertilizers, motor oil, and trash from stormwater. This is the same water that passes through the Edwards Aquifer recharge zone and ultimately feeds Barton Springs.
I want to welcome all of you out here to Brody Lane to commemorate this great water quality treatment facility. Hard as it is to believe, the planning for this facility began way back when I was chairman of the city's environmental board. As the water from here drains into a little creek right over here and then recharges almost directly into the Edwards Aquifer.
And that water comes in via a ditch. At one point it was probably a creek, but when things are subdivided, engineers like to put water in nice, neat places, and so it's kind of made into a ditch. And so all of the water from that subdivision comes and flows. You can just see some rocks upstream there. It comes into this landscape depression. What it used to do is flow past us and go under and over Paisano Trail and make its way down to that sinkhole, where all that dirty water from the urbanized area could just go directly into the recharge zone and on its way to Barton Springs. So I think folks are handing out little packets, and if y'all would like to join me for the traditional scattering of the wildflower seed, that'll end our event today. Thank you.
Austin is one of 10 cities selected by the Environmental Protection Agency as a model for green infrastructure, with the water quality pond being a good example. We're all trying to escape the heat by staying indoors, but did you know that air conditioning accounts for 60 to 70% of your summer electric bill? We have some simple and free tips to help you save energy and money. Austin Energy suggests setting your thermostat at 78 degrees or higher when possible. Every degree higher can save up to $90 a summer. The utility also recommends using ceiling fans to cool things down, turning off lights when possible, and keeping your curtains and blinds closed on windows hit by direct sunlight. It's also a good idea to avoid running large appliances during the day. For a complete list of tips, visit austinenergy.com. And now it's time for a City Council update.
The Austin City Council adopted the Animal Advisory Commission's recommended criteria in selecting a nonprofit organization to operate the adoption center at the current Town Lake Animal Shelter located on West Cesar Chavez Street. The adoption center is critical in maintaining a 90% live outcome rate, which the city has successfully met since December 2010 as part of the Austin No-Kill implementation plan. Also, Council directed the city manager to draft additional city charter amendments for the November 2012 ballot. Such amendments include reducing city council term limits from 3 3-year terms to 2 4-year terms, requiring vacancies on the city council be filled within 120 days, establishing collection guidelines for campaign contributions for a runoff election, creating a deadline for submitting petitions, as well as making the number of required petition signatures for the city charter changes conform with state law. Lastly, Council modified the funding allocations for social services contracts for local nonprofits and area providers based on staff recommendations. These changes will allow for more funding opportunities outside the new competitive selection process so that key gaps in mental health and public safety can be addressed and client access to community supportive services improved. In all, Council considered 136 items at its June 23rd meeting. Its next regularly scheduled meeting will be July 28th. For CityView, I'm Taja Beakley.
City of Austin officials joined more than 150 community members at a groundbreaking ceremony for the African American Cultural and Heritage Facility being built in East Austin. The facility at 912 East 11th Street will include a visitors bureau, offices, meeting space, reception areas, a dance room, and office space for 2 local nonprofits, the Capital City African American Chamber of Commerce and Pro Arts Collective.
The African American Culture Center combined with the African American Chamber, will create a new synergy in Central Texas. And so I want to applaud them for their future work that will involve taking an idea to a dream, to a place, to a destination of hope and opportunity, as well as culture.
The facility will serve as an anchor for the African American Cultural Heritage District, which extends roughly from Manor Road to Houston-Tillotson University and Airport Boulevard to IH-35. And finally, skateboarding isn't just the fad I remember from the 80s. The popularity of the sport has resulted in a brand new BMX and skate park off of Shoal Creek Boulevard in downtown Austin. The Parks and Recreation Department opened the facility in mid-June, and already skaters and bikers are taking advantage of this well-designed facility.
Got the grand opening for the BMX skate park. It's been a long time coming. It's getting put to good use right now.
Dude, it's so awesome. It's like the best thing.
Really happy to have the turnout we have.
Hi, so what do you think about this park, man?
Pretty epic, man.
Pretty epic?
Best thing I've seen.
Yeah.
And I'm out here having fun doing what I do, riding the skateboard. At one of the most amazing places to do it at.
Austin has a growing population. There's great need for BMX and skateboard facilities.
It is a wave of Shoal Creek water washing up into the park. Really, this piece is really the most complete when skaters are on it.
The City of Austin does recommend that skateboarders use helmets and pads.
There's a lot of amazing skateboarders out here. This is only gonna make it better.
Came out here to shred the new park. Well, I was trying to nollie flip the 9, and I landed in the middle and snapped it. Had to get back up and go try a kickflip, just a regular old kickflip, and rolled away with the broken board. Not bad starting off the day. Probably one of the best parks in Texas right now. Just opened up. It's nice, like plaza format. The bowl is incredible. Street course is amazing. And there's gonna be a lot of good little kids coming up from here. Like they have like a little kid part over there with a small little mini ramp, and then older kids can skate the stairs. And I just have a love for skateboarding. Just can't just not. Even with it being like 106 degrees outside, just gotta go out and skate.
The Austin BMX and Skate Park project was funded by citizens through the city's 2006 bond election. That's all for this edition of CityView. I'm your host, Leslie Sopko. Our next episode premieres Friday, July 8th. Thanks for watching.